Today on Inquirer, Negros Oriental Representative Arnie Teves being considered as one of the masterminds in the killing of Governor Degamo and 8 others. Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte responds to call to hire 30,000 teachers yearly until 2028. Duterte says it's unrealistic and impossible. After an extended dry run, exclusive motorcycle lanes in Commonwealth Avenue now in full effect. And fuel prices to roll back by up to 1 peso and 90 centavos. Good evening. Negros Oriental Representative Arnie Teves is being considered as one of the masterminds in the killing of Governor Degamo and 8 others. Our Justice reporter Tech Torres Tupas fills us in with the details live. Tech?
Neil, Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla on Monday said Negros Oriental Representative Arnolfo Teves is being considered as one of the masterminds in the March 4 killing of Governor Degamo and 8 others. Remulla said they are currently looking at 2 to 3 masterminds. When asked if these masterminds are within range or if they are still totally clueless about their identities, he said one of those being considered as mastermind has sent him a text message last week referring to Congressman Teves. Remulla said as the investigation progresses, and this is the direction that they are currently heading. He added that the younger brother of the lawmaker, former Negros Oriental Governor Pride Henry Teves, might also be implicated in the Degamo case following the raid in his sugar mill last Friday. Authorities seized huge cache of high-powered firearms, ammunitions, and explosives. Remulla said Henry will be subject of a preliminary investigation on which he will be given the opportunity to submit his counter-affidavit and supporting evidence. Meanwhile, the lawmaker's lawyer, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, called for fundamental fairness. He said it would be better if government authorities will just speak up once a case is filed in court. Neil?
They can be contacted, I think. They're always in social media. Meron naman sa social media dyan. Meron nga yung isa, parang nag-text sa akin. I told you about it last week. Congressman Teves texted me. I think they're considered, they're being considered as masterminds. But right now, the way it's progressing, that's the direction we're heading.
That's Tech Torres Tupas reporting live. Interior Secretary Benher Abalos says an improvised explosive device and its components were seized from the estate of the younger brother of Negros Oriental Representative Arnie Teves. To tell us more, here's John Eric Mendoza reporting live. Eric, what's the latest on this story?
Yes, Neil. Abalos says improvised explosive device or IED and its components were found on the property of former Governor Pride Henry Teves. This is on top of the 10 firearms, including 3 rifles, as well as ammunition, an M14 rifle, and a shotgun found by the police. Abalos said the IED and high-powered firearms were unearthed using heavy equipment.
The operating team used backhoe and other heavy equipments to dig and recover these items buried within the grounds of the said compound. Ito ho'y hinukay ng backhoe. Andiyan ba yung pictures natin? Yung mga video, mamaya ipapakita namin sa inyo ito kung paano nakita ito sa compound. No? Talagang hinukay ng malala. Kita nyo, napastao ang hukay nito.
Over the weekend, the Philippine National Police Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, along with the Armed Forces of the Philippines, conducted a series of raids on the 5-hectare property owned by Pride Henry. The property in Barangay Caranoche, Santa Catalina Town, includes a sugar mill operated by HDJ Bayawan Agriventure Corporation, of which Pride Henry is president. The series of raids comes after Negros Oriental Governor Degamo and 8 others were killed, while 16 people were wounded in a gun attack in the governor's residence in Pamplona Town on March 4. Neil?
That's John Eric Mendoza reporting live. President Bongbong Marcos says travel time between the cities of Caloocan and Manila may be cut down to 5 minutes. Leading the inauguration of the North Luzon Expressway Connector Caloocan-España section, Marcos says the project is expected to ease the movement of people and goods in Metro Manila. The president says the 5-kilometer elevated expressway will also reduce the travel time from Caloocan to Manila to 5 minutes.
Nagtitinginan kami kanina nung sinabi Manila, Caloocan will be 5 minutes. Sa buong buhay natin, never pa natin nakita yung 5 minutes na galing Caloocan hanggang Maynila. Baka yung ating pangarap ay matupad na.
President Marcos also vows that his administration will continue to push for more infrastructure projects that will improve the interconnectivity of the country's road networks.
We will continue to develop a highly interconnected road network that will facilitate our country's rapid, inclusive, and sustained economic growth. We will continue to push for the interconnectivity of major roads and expressways, as well as build even more roads and bridges in strategic places within the archipelago.
The Philippine Coast Guard has collected over 9,000 liters of oily water during its offshore oil leak response following the massive oil spill due to the sinking of the MT Princess Empress off Oriental Mindoro last month. In a statement on Monday, the Philippine Coast Guard reports that it collected 900 liters of oily water mixture on March 26. This brings the total oily water mixture collection during its offshore oil spill response to 9,463 liters. The total oil-contaminated materials collected offshore is now at 115 sacks. For shoreline response, no oily water mixture was amassed on Sunday, but 137 sacks of oil-contaminated materials were collected. This raises the total to 3,514.5 sacks collected along the shore. MT Princess Empress was carrying 800,000 liters of industrial fuel when it sank off Oriental Mindoro on February 28, causing a huge oil spill.
Next on Inquirer Today, Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte responds to call to hire 30,000 teachers yearly until 2028. Duterte says it's unrealistic and impossible. After an extended dry run, exclusive motorcycle lanes in Commonwealth Avenue now in full effect. And fuel prices to roll back by up to 1 peso and 90 centavos.
This Inquirer Today will be back shortly.
Ako si Alois Jill Cadilo. Currently, student ako sa UP, pero at the same time, nagtatattoo ako sa Sining Tinta. Personally, na nagpapatattoo ako, hindi ako ganun ka-comfortable doon. So, naisip ko, lahat ng hindi ako comfortable with, iibahin ko siya. Light lang yung curation ng space para hindi ka natatakot pag nagpapatattoo ka, lalo na masakit kasi magpatattoo. Nag-start ako mag-tattoo, hindi dahil gusto ko mag-tattoo. Bale, gusto kong kumuha ng tattoo. Pero at the same time, hindi ko afford yung artist na gusto ko. So parang inisip ko, bakit hindi na lang ako magpaturo sa previous tattoo artist ko. Tapos, i-design ko yung tattoo ko and then ako gagawa sa sarili ko. Tapos, from there, yung una kong natatuan ay yung sarili ko din. So, mas naramdaman ko yung difference sa practice skin and sa skin nung ginagawa ko na sa sarili ko. Nagtatattoo lang ako sa apartment namin sa Kamuning. Tapos, marami na din kasi akong friends nagpapatattoo nun. Tapos at the same time, yung friends nila, gano'n. Hindi kaya ng space ko kasi sobrang liit lang talaga nun. Tapos mainit. Tapos, Ayun, lumaki na lang siya kasi nung nag-start akong mag-tattoo, somehow may na-meet akong mga other women artists. Tapos doon namin nabuo na parang women's space talaga siya. Ganun. Sining tinta kapag English, ink art, gano'n. Yung pinaka tagline kasi is malaya at mapagpalayang sining. Tapos, at the same time, yung artists ay puro women kasi marami sa clients ko previously nagkukwento na they don't feel safe kapag puro male yung artists nila, gano'n. May ganong stories. I want to take that scare away, gano'n, yung that intimidation. And the only way na I can do it is if we strictly create a space na women artists lang din talaga. Future, we want to be able to expand this industry na mas maging accepting siya sa women artists na gusto pumasok sa pagtatattoo. Tapos, at the same time, sa mga clients namin, we want to break stereotypes. Makakapasok ka sa mga work institutions na may tattoo ka, ganon. Tapos, hindi ka madidiscriminate for it or walang notion of yung usual na iniisip nila na madumi yung balat mo. Mas accepting yung society sa people with tattoos and people who engaged in tattoos and piercings.
Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte says hiring of 30,000 public school teachers yearly until 2028 is, quote, unrealistic and impossible. This was in response to the call of the Alliance of Concerned Teachers for the Department of Education to hire 30,000 teachers per year until 2028 for an ideal class size of 35 students. She says the group's proposal was, quote, obviously deceptive maneuvers to undermine the Marcos administration's solution to education problems. Duterte adds that the group's goal is, quote, unrealistic and impossible, saying it will place the government in a situation that will end in failure. She also says ACT's remarks sought to divert public attention from the NPA-initiated violence in Masbate. According to the Vice President, DepEd intends to hire additional teaching and non-teaching personnel this year. It is set to deploy more school administrative officers to complement its workforce and reduce teachers' administrative tasks. Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel says he will oppose the controversial Maharlika Investment Fund bill, especially now that the proposal is up for debate in the Senate. A week ago, Senator Mark Villar sponsored a revised version of the bill at the Senate plenary, but Pimentel on Monday stood firm in his position to buck the bill, saying he sees no justification for the Philippines to put up an investment fund. The legislator called for the public to be conscious about the push for the MIF. He raised doubts about how the MIF idea came together out of nowhere and against the backdrop of a global investment climate that is not at its best state. According to Pimentel, the bill will undergo extensive and substantive scrutiny once further discussed by the Senate upon the resumption of its session after the Holy Week break. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, begins its full implementation of the exclusive motorcycle lane along Commonwealth Avenue in Quezon City. After an extended dry run, the MMDA will be apprehending violators of the policy starting Monday, March 27. According to the MMDA, private vehicle drivers who violate the new rule would be slapped with a 500 peso fine, while public utility vehicle drivers will have to shell out 1,200 pesos. The exclusive motorcycle lane is located on the third lane from the sidewalk of Commonwealth Avenue from Elliptical Road to Doña Carmen and vice versa. The MMDA says the designated lane is intended to reduce accidents and improve the flow of traffic. Independent analytics group Octa Research says Misamis Oriental's COVID-19 positivity rate jacked up to 26.8%, which is considered high. In a Twitter post, Octa Research fellow Guido David says that Misamis Oriental's positivity rate rose from 17.1% on March 18 to 26.8% on March 25. The province's COVID-19 positivity rate is more than 5 times higher than the threshold set by the World Health Organization at 5%. Meanwhile, David says Metro Manila's COVID-19 positivity rate was stagnant at 3.2%, which is considered low. David also notes that the nationwide positivity rate was at 3.7% on March 26. Good news for motorists. Local oil firms announced rollbacks in the pump prices of gasoline, diesel, and kerosene effective Tuesday, March 28. The prices of gasoline will decrease by 85 centavos per liter, while the prices of diesel will be cut by 1 peso and 30 centavos per liter. Meanwhile, kerosene prices will be slashed by 1 peso and 90 centavos per liter. This marks the third consecutive week of fuel price rollbacks as world market prices continue to soften, according to the Department of Energy. Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama si Irvin Santiago ng Bandera. Irvin?
Hi Neil at sa lahat ng mga kabandera natin all over the universe. Ito na nga ang latest Bandera Chika. Kung may isang female celebrity na talagang ayaw tantana ng mga bashers at haters sa social media, yan ay walang iba kundi ang kapuso comedian na si Kiray Celis. Pero ayon kay Kiray, sanay na siya sa mga troll sa SOCMED kaya hindi na niya pinapatulan ng mga ito. Sa katunayan, ine-enjoy pa niya ang pambabash sa kanya ng netizens dahil kumikita pa raw siya mula sa mga ito. Say ng komedyana habang parami ang nanglalait at nangnenega sa kanya, palaki naman ang palaki ang kinikita niya sa social media kaya ang hamon niya sa mga haters, bash pa more. In fairness, dahil daw sa ginagawang pambabash at pambubuli sa kanya ng netizens, ay nakapagpatayo na siya ng apartment at nakabili na rin ng iba pang properties para sa kanyang pamilya. Samantala, kinumpirma rin ng komedyana na may ginawa siyang international series na malapit nang mapanood ng madlang people kung saan makakasama niya ang mga bigating artista. Sabi mo pa rin sa kanila, ayaw pa rin tumigil hanggang ngayon.
Happy pa rin ako sa kanila. Kasi hanggang ngayon, talagang hindi sila tumitigil. Oo, sinusundan nila ako. At saka ang nakakatawa, kilala pa rin nila ako. More! I want more! Alam niyo, salamat. Kasi dahil sa inyo hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin ako nawawalan ng trabaho. Dahil sa mga bashers ko, nakailang bahay na ako sa mama ko. Thank you so much.
Ano yung mga next projects mo?
Last time, nag-Return to Paradise ako with Miss Yula Valdez, Derek Monasterio. Tapos, meron akong, hindi po kasi pwede i-announce pero may international series. Ginawa po dito, pero talagang mga bigating mga artista ang mga kasama.
Tapos na siya.
Opo.
At yan ang Bandera Chika natin today. Thanks, Neil.
Maraming salamat, Irvin. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Catch Inquirer Today live weekdays at 6 p.m. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.